32 persons have been charged before an Accra District Court in connection with the murder of Major Maxwell Adam Mahama. He was lynched by a mob at Dencho Boise in the Central Region. 58 persons are currently in the custody of the police, but prosecutors told the court today that they were ready to proceed with the 32 as they carry out further investigation on the remaining. Dawn News' Joseph Akable was in court and now reports.
So at about 10 a.m. on Wednesday, the two vehicles carrying the accused persons could be seen at the court premises, the Accra District Court here. Now, a total of 58 persons were brought into the courtroom at the initial hearing of the case. Some 34 persons were charged, but when the case was called on Wednesday, DSP George Amega, who is leading prosecution for the state, informed the court that they wanted to consolidate all three charge sheets into one charge sheet with some 32 persons are being charged by the police. They are clear in their minds that they want to charge them with conspiracy to commit murder and murder. The other 26 persons, they asked that they be discharged and were immediately rearrested by officers of the Ghana Police Service. The understanding the police service is putting across is that they are still conducting some investigations with regards to the 26 persons, for which reason they want to still keep them in custody. And when then the case is next called, if they have enough evidence to put against them, they will also be charged as well. One gentleman among the 32, we have been told, is less than the age of 18. It was a concern raised by the judge, and the police explained that they had information that suggested that he was indeed more than 18 years of age, but the judge pointed out that if that information is not tendered into the court as evidence, I mean, that nothing shows that indeed he is less than or more than 18 as it's been told. So he ordered that that gentleman be taken to a bus-stop pending evidence supplied by the police to indicate that he's indeed more than 18 years of age for him to be kept in police custody. As expected, this is a case that has generated so much public attention, and quite a lot of people made it to the courtroom, and they could simply not hide their interest. Another interesting thing is the fact that for the many who were brought into the courtroom, they had to be identified one after the other. Their names were mentioned with the corresponding numbers for them to make their way into the courtroom. But with regards to the substantive matter itself, a hearing is expected to continue on July 6, where we'll have an indication of whether more people will be charged in addition to the 32, or the police will stick to the 32 they have put before the court so far. Reporting for Joy News, Joseph Akable, Accra District Court.
I have the man here in the studio. I mean, Joseph, he joins me now in the studio. We understand that the judge was concerned about the fact that some of the accused persons had been kept for rather too long. Joseph, you're welcome to the show, by the way. Why did the judge think that those people have been kept too long? Did the prosecutors not give him reasons why they should be kept?
2 weeks ago, when the court decided to remand 34 persons, the understanding the police guys put across was that they wanted to carry out further investigations. Now, the judge's argument is that more often than not, police prosecutors bring people to the courtroom. They ask that you remand them. They ask for time. You give them time to go and investigate. They come back and they still ask for more time. And following that famous Martin Kpebu case at the Supreme Court, the justices of the court were very clear that people are entitled to bail. Especially, they were unhappy about the fact that police people often hide behind the fact that we are still investigating to keep people wrongfully in custody, especially when they don't have enough to connect them to the crime.
Right.
So his point was that they should tell him why you shouldn't grant them bail. You asked for 2 weeks, you got 2 weeks, you've come back, you've discharged 26 more. And you want to charge 32 and you're asking for some more time. So why not let them go since they are not flight risk? They are people who are here in the country. But the prosecutor's argument was that these are persons who clearly had fled Dencho Boise. He said quite a number of them were arrested in different parts of the country. Right. So that is an indication that they were more or less on the move. Right. So you can't trust that if you grant them bail for them to go back to Dencho Boise.
They'll be waiting for you to come grab them later. I see. So in that case, what happened? after the judge has questioned that decision of the prosecutors, what then happened?
So he proceeded to grant the remand following the explanation that these were persons who were arrested in different parts of the country. He remanded the 32 persons and discharged 26 of them. But those 26 were rearrested right after they had been discharged. In fact, when they were discharged, they were just led into the police van that brought them into the courtroom. So they never left custody officially, and we are expecting that they will be remanded within 48 hours for further investigations to be carried out.
That must have created some dramatic scenes there, if you would describe that to us. Was that when we see them walking away?
Yes, and the interesting thing is the reaction from those who were watching when they were coming in. So when the assemblyman was walking in, you could hear people say, "Honorable, honorable," and pointing out that that is the assemblyman who is being brought in. You could hear things like, how can you commit such a crime? Yeah. Those were some of the things that people were putting across, and others were things that we cannot even say on air entirely. But the most interesting thing is that people clearly have deep interest in this particular case, and for which reason they masked up. And it's interesting to find out, you know, our system is such that we don't normally announce court dates. Yeah. So how people on their own know
are able to tell and then make their way there. Well, sometimes maybe those involved are aware, and so they bring them, because you say that they were referring to the assemblyman as honorable. So probably these are people from the Intraboise who have come to Accra because they knew that they were going to be sent to court today. But we understand also that there was a minor, and there's also a debate about his age, whether or not he's actually a minor.
And a lot of controversy. The thing, we've heard reports that he's 12 years of age. Some say he's 17. Today the police were telling the judge that he's more than 18. In fact, it came up, the judge pointed that out himself. The judge said that it had come to his notice that there were reports that there was a gentleman less than 18 years who was being kept among the other prisoners. I mean, per law, you are supposed to be kept in a juvenile detention center and not along with the other criminals. But the police guy said they had engaged the father, and the date of birth they have suggests the gentleman is more than 18 years of age. So that is why they were keeping him there. But the judge said, this is something that you are telling me. You've not brought any evidence to the court to show that he's more than 18. Okay. So I'm remanding him all right, but don't take him to the cells where you are keeping the 32 individuals. You should take him to the juvenile detention center where the law spells out clearly that is where he should be kept. So that was what happened to that gentleman. We are here picking information that there are some suggestions that this gentleman was in school the day that the event happened. They said they can provide the class register that shows that he was indeed in class that day when the incident happened. So that is something that the relatives are engaging the police on, and we are monitoring that to see how it turns out.
Interesting. Finally, before I let you go, tell us about their demeanor in court today. You were in court yourself, so.
It differs. Some look a bit remorseful. There was one lady, when she was coming in, she seemed to be praying. There was another in tears, and there was another that have a different posture, kind of what we say in local parlance, the guy thing. So he was holding the color of his shirt as he was moving in. So it was a bit of a different attitude for each of them. Some seem remorseful, others confident, others look like, what's the big deal?
They're indifferent. Put all together. Many of them were remorseful, you'd say.
Quite a number.
Quite a number. Thank you very much. Joseph Akable has been in court, of course, bringing us updates on what's happening with that particular case. We're still following up on it, especially with the case of the gentleman said to be a minor. We'll bring you all of the details on that. Thank you very much, Joseph, once again.